Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Wilshusen, let's talk for a moment about the magnitude of the fraud. According to your testimony, the IRS estimated that it prevented or recovered $22.5 billion in fraudulent identity theft refunds in 2014, but paid out $3.1 billion in fraudulent refunds. These numbers seem rather precise considering there's no range given. How does the IRS estimate how much it's prevented in fraudulent payments and how much has been paid? And how confident are we, or are you, I should say, on the accuracy of these numbers?
Well, certainly with any estimates with regard to the amount that has been paid or that has been not detected and not paid, it's rather specific and a point in the estimate because you really don't know what you don't know, basically, in that if there's likely to be undetected fraud that hasn't been determined. So there's always uncertainty with those estimates, and that's why we recommended that IRS look at its estimating procedures to account for that uncertainty as to the extent of the fraud.
Mr. George, fraudulent tax payouts ultimately hurt taxpayers because their public money's going to criminals. How confident are you that the IRS has a grasp on these estimates, and does this raise concerns about whether the IRS is allocating enough resources to combat the identity theft problem?
This is a very complicated question, Congressman, because it overlaps with a lot of other issues as it relates to monies owed to the Internal Revenue Service. The service itself estimates what it calls the tax gap at being over $450 billion every year. Money that is owed to the IRS, that is, no one has really contested that figure. And so it's a serious problem. Then, of course, you're talking about programs such as refundable credits and the like that are being taken advantage of by people who are here in this country both legally and illegally. It is a major problem. The IRS is aware of it. I'm sure the Commissioner will point out that if he had additional resources, he would be able to address it more sufficiently. But this is a concern that we've raised extensively during my tenure at TIGTA.
Thank you, gentlemen. Madam Chairman, actually, I yield back.